Welcome one and all to the Depression Chamber. We have a change of scenery. I am not filming at my grandparents' house. I don't have time or the will. So we're going to be filming here today. We have a very special piece of gear to review today. It's made by the man himself, ERIS. It's ERIS time. We've got the full Monty, the upgraded front end. Everything is upgraded in this front end, actually. We've gone to the Hollow Cyan 2, pre-90 with the black ice in case you want a little tube flavor. And then we got the VTV, has some new input buffers with Burson op amps in it. Got some Sparkos op amps on the way for rolling too. But we're going with this setup for now. I've been listening to this for quite a while, dozens of hours. I've got some good time on it, so I know what it sounds like. And it's pretty capable. I should have had a drink of water before I start this, but this review is not going to be what I thought it was. I bought this, disclaimers, I bought this on Amazon, my own system. I wanted an upgrade from 6XX for the old gaming rig. I know, it's dirty. I know it's a messy environment to film in, but you know what? It tracks my depression, and right now, it's not great. But we're gonna push through and review this. I got another little thing you see sitting up here. You see how it's above? See how it's above? That wasn't intentional. It was just there. But yeah, these Teltronics we're gonna be comparing. I've got some measurements to pull up as well. And then we were going to compare T60 Argons, but there was a problem with that. Those pads give it a suck out at I think it was 5K, like a 30 decibel suck out. Really. It ruined the potential. We'll get to it. But I'm not going to be doing very many comparisons with them for that reason. So to start, what was my intention with this headphone? My intention was gaming, all-rounder. My definition of an all-rounder isn't as strict. I would consider the Teltronics an all-rounder, and you'll see those frequency response. It's not perfect. It's not neutral. I think it sounds pretty darn okay with everything. But something, maybe a little extra bass. Something that's going to be immersive. Something that's going to be a fun thing. Not like an HD800 for gaming, but something that's going to be fun. I have not gamed on this yet. I'm going to go play a Warframe mission, I think, with it in a couple minutes, and then give my impressions on that as we get to it. One moment. So anyways, as I said, I bought these originally. I was like, I haven't spent money on audio in a while. This was kind of in the midst of all this stuff happening. And I was like, I'm selling thousands of dollars worth of stuff. I side graded my preamp setup. I slightly upgraded the DAC. I slightly upgraded the amp. I've got thousands back from my system. Let me move a little bit of it over here. Gaming headset. I was going to get a wireless, then the Zeos. Oh, God. Oh. The Zeos. He came out with this. So I was like, all right, I'll try it. I'll give it a shot. We'll see how it does against the 6XX, which I actually gave to my friend while I used his Argons. So, poor decision-making there. No comparisons. So, anyways, let's get into the meat of it. I haven't really talked. I haven't really said anything. It's been 4 minutes. I've said nothing. So, what I was expecting from a Zeos tuned headphone. I've never heard a Z-Tune product before. So, here's what I was expecting. I know. He loves these. He's got these pads on the way to him as well. So, hopefully he'll get to hear this thing with the pad swap. It is phenomenal. He loves these things as they were stock. I loved them stock too. They had we'll see in the measurements, what I call an M-shaped thing. Actually, let's go to the measurements right now. I think that will give us context for the rest of the review. So let's do that. All right, I really, really apologize for how we're going to be presenting this. I will be posting these. I will post probably a couple different combinations of these in the description, if I can remember to. or if anybody really desperately wants them, you can ask for them in the Zeos chat. I did post them already in there, in the ERIS chat. But yeah, you can. I will likely put some stuff into the description. So we're not going to show you the ERIS yet. I'm going to show you the stock with ANC on for the Tautronics, because here's what I was expecting. Here is vaguely what I was expecting from Zeos's tuning. Okay, I love these headphones. They are what I would describe as an M shape. That's not the M. That is the M shaped. I expected something kind of like this, because I mean, maybe not that big of a cave, but you'll see with the no ANC turned on, it's it's still there. Is this a measurement artifact? I don't know. Let me see T60A. Well, yeah, we'll get to that. We'll get to that suck out. So this is the Tautronic SoundSurge 46 stock with ANC on, stock pads. I only did like one measurement. I think I did it. I think I did it twice to make sure nothing was like completely different. But this isn't like a bunch averaged out. This is one pretty much for all of these. So yeah, I mean, we got accentuated bass, but in like a lower kind of range, and it's pulled back as it goes up forward. So what you get out of this sound is actually like a sort of reserved bass, but it's also extremely powerful when something low kicks in that you want rumble from. I absolutely love it. And it kind of goes back up into the mid-range a bit, because you have this pullback that, but you want the vocals to shine through. You don't really want to mess with the vocals too much, so it's in this area. I mean, this isn't the most promising graph, but let me tell you, I listen to these more than I listen to anything, and I absolutely love them, I'd say, for the most part. Now, that's stock pads. I recently got these velour, and let's turn those on and see what happens. Oh, everything is fixed by about 30% at least. I mean, that is crazy. That is crazy. We get more extension with the velour pads. The exact same bass curve. So you know what isn't affected is the ANC quality of this headphone. Now, mid-range affected a little bit, but everything here overall is just smoothed out more. And yeah. Oh man, these pads, let me tell you, these pads make it sound so much better. Not just frequency response wise, timbral quality, I think, has increased slightly with those pads. It gives it a more natural, soft, warm hug sound. It's great. It is a phenomenal. So we're going to be focusing on this. Although I think velour no ANC is also not terrible either. You may actually prefer this as slightly smoother overall, I guess a little bit. But yeah, so this is the SoundSurge 46. This is kind of what I expect out of a Z-Tune sound, because he loved these things. He talked them up and down. One of the best closebacks under $200 when you plug them in. That was true without the pad swap. With the pad swap, it's completely insane. It's ludicrous. I'm down to my last pair out of 3. The other 2 have issues. I got to do some contact cleaner on them. I think that'll fix them. Anyways, I know we haven't talked about ERIS much yet. I thought this was going to be a shorter review, but there's a lot of comparison to be done here. So what my expectations were out of this is something fun. Something fun, but it kind of accentuates areas where things are just going to be energetic. It's just going to be naturally energetic of a presentation. In the case of these, they are smooth. They are a warm hug. Their presentation is still exciting. It is still exactly that. How it does both? Well, you know what? You know what else does both of those things, smooth and exciting? ZMF. VC. We're talking about VC in a Tautronics and ERIS video. I don't know. Maybe I'm going crazy. Let's get to the ERIS frequency response, because this, M-shaped, sort of M-shaped. let me level these out. So, yeah. We've got this. We've got an M shape. We've got a bit of an M shape. Let's analyze it with that off firstly. You can see the much more distinct M shape with this. So, yeah, that is exactly what I expected. And let me tell you something. The differences between these two things and how they present is really rather interesting. The ERIS does not have that. It has a convex bass curve. The concave bass curve of the Tautronics is what gives it a reserved feeling, a reserved sense to the bass, where it's strong and powerful and above neutral, but you don't notice it until you want it to be there, because all of this stuff comes across as pretty natural. Maybe you lean slightly higher in presence of things, but as far as bass boosts go, the bass boost on the Tautronics is almost exactly how I would want it to be. It is pretty fantastic. It's never in the way in the music. There is some increased presence for really low octave singers and stuff, but you barely notice it, and you get a lot of goods, and it hides a lot of the shortfalls. The ERIS has a convex curve, and it is greater. It is obviously greater, and both of those things combined means that it doesn't have that reserved feeling. It's in your face. It's injecting itself into the music. It's really pushing. It's taking charge. It's charging forward. Your frequency response is charging into the rest of the frequency response. I don't know how to feel about it. I like a bass boost. The bass is actually kind of in a decent place, I guess, for a bassy headphone. For a bassy headphone, it's in a good place. But it adds a little bit of boom to a lot of stuff. So, that's just how I hear it. Hang on, I'm just gonna rest my wrist. So, anyways, when you look at how here, Zeos hasn't heard this one, so his comparison, if he were listening to these, that would be his comparison. And if you look at this, I mean, it has a lot of pretty similar directions that the frequency response goes compared to ERIS. This is the stock pad Tautronics, ANC on. And again, it also has a reserved, it's kind of a straight line, but okay, yeah, well, I mean, it's putting it in line with the bass curve, which I think is not accurate. It is not brighter, that's for sure. So that probably is actually where it should be going. But yeah, this rings to me like the kind of fun thing that Zeos would like. So my expectations were pretty much met, dead on, that ERIS is kind of like, what if you took Tautronics? You wanted them to be better. You wanted to try and make them better, make them more fun, make people dance harder to it. I don't think people really need to dance harder than the Tautronics. I'm sorry about the shaky hand. I really should just stabilize my hands. I've got ADHD. I can't help it. But I was pretty dead on with my assessment before they came in, and what I heard, I heard a similar type of get up and go with the ERIS that you get from the Tautronics. It was not done the same way. It is not done the same way, and I think that there's comparisons to be made for sure. There's good stuff about ERIS, but to me, we're going to get into all of it, but I like the Tautronics. When we put this back on, everything on the Tautronics sounds a little bit smoother and less offensive. The treble stuff that goes on with ERIS has really gotten to me. It is exciting, but it's also a little bit unhinged. the bass violence rubs off into the rest of the frequency response. It's a little bit jagged. It's a little bit offensive in the treble. But overall, I mean, it's a good shot at the Tautronics type fun kind of thing. And, you know, I think that some people might listen to these and dance. I'm one of them. You know, I didn't put a ton of hours because I've been working 70-hour weeks trying to keep the dream alive. But, you know, I only get new stuff in to toy with once every couple years. And this couple years, you know, was side grades. But you know what? I love that I didn't put any money into the system. And my system got probably 15% better overall sound. 15% better imaging. 15% better bass. All of that stuff. Amazing. Absolutely amazing. I did a great job. I don't know about the ERIS. But, well, we're getting around to it. Well, I do know about the ERIS, actually. Today, I believe, is the last day to return them. And I have to be honest. I have to be transparent. I'm going to return them. Not because I don't like ERIS, but because, A, I'm not a collector. I'm not a sound collector. I want the best sound I can get, and that's all I want. I do like a thing on the side, what I would call a throwaway, just because of the price comparison to my higher-end stuff. I don't think ERIS is maybe the best pick for me. Also, with the amount of side grading that I did, was more than expected. I got some offers for some stuff that was not an expected expense. So ERIS has to go back. I can't keep that much money in it. Anyways, you know what? We're gonna get to the sort of differences between these two headphones now. Let me grab them. I think I'll grab them. Okay, we've got them. We've got both of them here now. How good is it at being a headphone? Just being a headphone. You know what? Surprisingly phenomenal. Super comfortable. Absolutely gorgeous comfortable. Really a pleasure to have on the head. Fantastic. Comparatively, the Tautronics are equal in that sense. Yeah, these things are good at being a headphone. They are 118 dB sensitive. That is completely ridiculous. I'm pretty sure it's higher than the Klipsch HP3. Let me see. Oh, that's 98 decibels per milliwatt. Wait, no, hang on. What? Is this per milliwatt on the ERIS? Okay, the ERIS measures per volt RMS, so we're not gonna... No, whatever, I don't care. So... Turn this back to velour. Yeah, see, it wants me to go higher up that. I don't think that's right. That's not right. It's adjusting it mostly to this, which is... No, this is accurate. This is accurate. Trust me. So... God, what was I saying? Ugh. Oh, good at being a headphone. Ridiculously easy to drive. Like, it's insane. It's not even necessary. It's just like a contest. You could drive these with literally anything. Probably the cheapest wireless IEM adapter you could possibly find would probably power these to fuck your face levels. Does it increase in quality with bass? Can it increase in quality? How's it scale? It scales surprisingly well for the type of driver that it is, which to me, hang on. This is an interesting driver to me. It doesn't seem like it's made out of completely ridiculous exotic like design or anything. So we're still in the sort of what I would consider to be the quote-unquote consumer grade sort of driver capability. You're not going to get something that is resolving to the utmost extent. You're not going to get timbre like you would on like a biodynamic. Like you just can't. You can only tune this sort of driver so far. It's the same with the Tautronics. The Tautronics have like the iconic. You know, I'm not gonna take it off, but they have like the iconic. It basically looks like the KPH30i driver. It pretty much looks. It might be the same driver. I don't even know. You can get it for $1.50 on AliExpress. And they tuned the hell out of it in this. I think this is maybe a little bit of a step above that in terms of certain capabilities of it. Not frequency response. But, you know, obviously, I don't know how much the tuning is making this happen. So, oh, you know what else I want to say before I forget? I meant to do pad swap listening on this. I put something on these. I don't remember what it was. And it was like, oh, okay, it smoothed something out of it, but I don't know if it's really that good. I didn't measure it. I forgot. I don't have time now. I have to return these in an hour. So, yeah, sorry. I let you down there. You're not going to get that. But, it's 1 times. It's 1 times. I thought I was zoomed in for a second. This driver is in the level of like consumer. I don't think this driver costs $1.50. Okay, I think it probably costs more than that to R&D and put together. I think everything is well like intentioned and stuff as far as the design goes, but again, they're kind of on a similar level where there is a limit to this headphone that you're going to get with certain things. It's just like the T50s. Like, you can get darn far with a T50 driver. But it will always be a T50 driver. There are a couple things that you can kind of, like, tell. You can kind of hear, like, okay, yeah, that's about the limitation for what this can do. This has some limitations. I don't think it's going to give you ridiculous timbre. I don't think it's going to give you, you know, resolution beyond a certain point. It's not bad in the price category that it's in. You know, my comparison was going to be between the T60 Argons, and I think I should mention them a little bit now. That's ERIS. That's the Argons. That's... I think maybe that's a little bit more accurate. Now, as you can see, there's this crazy suck out at 5 to 6K. That's why I didn't really go on with the subjective listening for this. In my opinion, I think I kind of like the Argons a little bit more. Maybe. I don't feel like the Argons are as peaky, though. I don't know why that's so high. Maybe that is more accurate. I don't know. I'll let you guys decide. But, it's planar versus dynamic at that point, you know? To me, that's pretty much what it was. I feel like I really jammed out on the Argons when I brought them in here again. And then I listened to the ERIS again, and I was like, whoa, you know, it's actually not that far. My friend who listened to both headphones on his Liquid Spark $100 headphone amp and DAC, he listened to both of them. He preferred the Argons. He said they were a little bit more full in some sense, and he was a musician as well, so I'm assuming that full he means going into the mid-range. I'm assuming he means in this area here, because this dip is there and that's not. That's my guess. He liked him. He liked him a lot. Was there an... No, there wasn't an ERIS measurement. Darn. With a pad swap. I thought maybe I took one. But, yeah, it's kind of planar versus dynamic there. I think I kind of like Argons more. I think that they're probably more versatile to sounding not like this. I don't know if that's true or not. I don't know. I didn't have time to test. I couldn't find any of my pads, so... yeah, that's about as far as I'll go with the comparison between them. Like in technicality wise, I think that speed like might be a little bit better on the Argons because it's a planar, you know. Like I like those more, but you also have to be able to drive them. Although his $100 amp does pretty well, he preferred it over these on the $100 amp. So you know, I don't know. They're in a similar price to these new, but when these go used, which is inevitable, they sold so many of the things. When these hit the used market, they'll be an even better value for performance, I think. It could be pretty good, you know? It could be a good value proposition for what you get out of it. I just don't think that it meets certain needs of mine. But yeah, I'm trying to think of how to bring it together. Hang on. I figured it out. I just had a Nutella and honey sandwich. I took that jar of Nutella and I was dipping into it. I was just eating Nutella. I was like, I want some toast. But then I went upstairs and I realized I could put honey on it. I put some star thistle honey on it. Big slab of Nutella. Good drizzle of honey. Ate that shit right up. It satisfied me to the core. But if I was served that as part of a 12-course meal at a Michelin restaurant, I'd be pissed. That's ERIS. That's ERIS for you. Crap. I was so ensconced in that comparison that I forgot what I was going to move on to. Hang on again. Okay, yeah, anyways, I don't have some sort of vested interest in defending this. But I do have a vested interest in defending this. Minus the Zeos logo on it. I'm not going to bias. I don't care who makes what. As long as it's not Verum. I don't care who it is. So, yeah. I would love to see... I think that this driver, like, technicality-wise, I think it's probably pretty capable as far as it goes. I mean, I think it could surprise me. Is it going to compete with, like, Sundara? For all the technicalities and stuff? I don't know. I think that would be a pretty tough thing to do. But anyways, as I was saying, I have a vested interest in defending that because I like these. And as you saw, as you saw, there is some wonk in here that needs defending. From the people that didn't like this. Because if you don't like this, and then I come on and I say, hey everybody, these are okay, but you really gotta try these. And then they look at the graphs and it's like an equal amount of craziness. They might not be willing to take me seriously, but I'm not joking. This headphone, I want to bring this back to market. I want to contact Tautronics and say, hey, let me buy the design for that. And then just roll it out. I don't know what I'd have to charge for it, and I don't know how feasible it would be. And I would definitely have to do, like, fundraising to make it happen. But if I ever blow up, I will, that'll be my first point of order, is bringing those back onto the market. Hopefully for under $100, because there is some stuff above $100 are kind of better in some ways. But these are fantastic. I love them so much. I love them to death. And the fun category has a reason to exist. It does. I wear these on the road. I've got road noise. They have noise canceling, and they have a little bit of extra bass to cancel out what rumble isn't canceled out by the ANC. And it actually works really darn well. And I wanted at some point, I considered trying these while driving, because I think that some of the peaks and stuff, some of the fun, keeps the headphones from getting drowned out by the road noise as much. Like, the stuff that you want to hear, you hear better when it's wonky. Maybe. I don't know. I listened to the finals and compared this to the final, and I don't think that rang true. But as far as the bass goes, it definitely is true. That extra bit of bass helps on the road for sure. So anyways, the question I think that people are probably thinking now is, well, who is this for? I don't mean all of this as in the fun direction in general. Well, maybe I do. I don't know. Who is this headphone for? And I think the answer to that is this headphone is for Zeos. This was for Zeos. And he's sharing his thing with us. I think it's worth a shot. You know, it's especially because it's sold on Amazon. If you really don't like it, or you find something better, you can send it back. So I think that if you're a collector, you've got different sounds, you like different flavors for different things, that this could be an interesting mix-up, especially because the Tautronics is discontinued. And do not look for it used. I'm going to buy every single one used, so please don't. I'm going to buy as many used Tautronics as I can possibly find. Please do not take that away from me. I love those things. I want to have them for the rest of my life. Yeah, I think this headphone is for Zeos, and I think that the added benefit is that there is still hope out there for people who like stuff like this and stuff like this. I couldn't get over the ERIS's uppers. Really, that made it difficult for me. I like mid-range a lot. So the Tautronics in that area, they do it. I think everything they do is just a little bit better sculpted, more to my liking. And I'm falling apart. I'm just bouncing around between topics now, which means the review, I probably don't have much left to say. So probably coming to a close here. There is hope. I think there is hope here. I think this is a really interesting design. I would like to see, personally, a different implementation. I would like to see this driver with a different tuning. Something a little bit less flavored. Like that sandwich was good. But my metabolism is going to go to war with it. Because it's just Nutella, honey, and white bread. It's just sugar and white bread. You know? I could have eaten some veggies on the side. I'd like some veggies on this, you know. You can listen to anything on the Tautronics. It'll sound awesome. Oh, you know what I didn't talk about? I didn't talk about the presentation between the two headphones. Let me tell you. Width is really good. We're going straight into it. Width is phenomenal on these. Like, it blows my mind. They have real soundstage. They have real audiophile headphone soundstage. Stuff comes from places. So do these. They have it. They have good width. I think in staging mode, which is when you just wear them backwards, they might be a little bit wider than these. And I didn't do much flipping between staging mode and non because I had them on backwards for a while and didn't notice. That was my experience with staging mode. Was like the first couple days of listening, as it was getting mostly burnt in. So I heard it pretty decent there. By the way, these have over 50 hours of burn-in for sure. Probably well over. Probably 60, 70, 80. But, I don't know. I want to say that, I want to guess, kind of a guess, because I didn't do a ton of testing, that the staging mode is a little bit more wash as far as pinpoint goes. It didn't seem completely, completely smeared or anything, but my guess is that with extended listening, you might notice a slight better imaging with them the right direction. But I don't know. Maybe that's not true. That's If it's there, it's fairly small. I kept it in the normal mode after that. But yeah, I mean, I like the staging. I think it's fine. I think the imaging is also pretty fine, technicality wise overall. Though, as I said, this is an interesting little driver. I don't know what that is in there. That white cable wire, some sort. I don't know. I'm going ADHD again. Yeah, I think, technicality wise, it is above the Teltronics for sure. Especially compared to wireless. But wired, it's closer. Man, it's closer. I think the ERIS might have a slightly bigger sound. Like, individual things might sound slightly larger scale-wise. But... And I thought at some point, maybe it has a little bit more of a natural timbre to it. Slightly less plasticky sounding than the Teltronics. Which the Teltronics aren't very plasticky at all, but just, we're talking slight differences here. You're moving up in price points. These are capable in the triple-digit range. I do not care who you are. These are capable in the in the triple-digit range. Technicality-wise. It's surprising. It catches you by surprise, and it feels good because of how inexpensive it is. This, I'd expect that. I'd expect that for something from 2024. $300 is a lot of money. You can get Sundara for $300. You can get the Argons for $300. So this is carrying its own weight, I would say. It's close. I'd say it's close to carrying its own weight. I think it would be okay if it were tuned differently as far as like comparing to all-rounders. But you don't do that. You're not bringing your sandwich. You're not saying, man, this sandwich or this Michelin, the 7th course of that Michelin star meal was like, it was good, but how does it compare to that Nutella and honey sandwich I had earlier? You're just not going to do it. And I think that's how it's meant to be. I think if you're collecting, this could be a valuable addition, I guess. I mean, there's other things that do more or better bass. I think T50 Argons I probably would pick over this. I haven't heard them here, and I don't remember. It's been a very long time. But I think that I would probably take those because I have the ability to power them. I have the Purify, and it's insane. So, these are going back for me. I didn't want this to be a bash, and I don't think it was. I think we had a bit of a blast here. I think I had a little bit of fun. But you gotta do it right. If you're gonna do the fun, you gotta do it right. You gotta do this Teltronics pad swap. You gotta try that out. Try that shit out. Give it a shot. Oh yes, I do have time to start up Warframe, I believe, and do a quick mini gaming session with this. Let me see if there's an update for it. Okay, unfortunately, it seems there's an update. It might go pretty quickly. I just don't know if I have time. I don't know. We'll see. 1 second. Okay, unfortunately, I cannot find either my Qlix nor my Theo DAC amp, so I'm not going to be able to do any gaming on it, but, I'd imagine immersion gaming is probably pretty spiffing with it. The peak, again, I think that it's going to make... Ooh, that screen needs to be wiped down. Ooh, I'm sorry you had to see that with the glare. Let me turn the brightness up to make it a little bit less apparent. The immersion gaming probably pretty good. The peaks, I think they might like accentuate like bullets hitting the floor, like bullet casings hitting the floor, like stuff like that. Little details in the mix. Like I said, I've got a pretty good track record of my predictions, and this combo here was a good prediction on my part, I think. As far as what he was going for, that M-shaped sound. Or, well, that one. Because that's the stock, but, yeah, oh, shit, I'm sorry, I'm blanking, no! Yeah, I think it kind of will accentuate details and stuff. It did sound like it presented detail. A little bit artificially, but it did it. So you'll probably have a pretty good time in games. Not gonna lie. Like, if you want it as a gaming headphone, not too shabby. Is my guess. I just can't afford it. I stretched myself a little too thin with these upgrades, so I'm on my way back with it. Luckily, I've still got the trusty Tautronics. I think if I didn't have the Tautronics, it might have been a different call as to whether I kept it and sold 6XX or not. But yeah, those also have noise canceling, so you can't really compare it because you can plug them in and still use the noise canceling. So gaming, I can go full leaf blower mode, full specs, fully specced out leaf blower mode, and not hear a damn thing, which is nice. So yeah, I hope you guys like this review. Should be $10 on PayPal. I don't have a good pitch yet, but I'm gonna put my PayPal in the description. If you want to help me not have to work 70 hours a week to be able to continue this, it would be really helpful if I made $50 here and there, so I could skip a shift at my morning job, schedule it off, and then do another review. That's, it takes a long time for me to actually have time and not be catatonic in bed. I'll get to it. I've got several videos up still. I've got to post, I believe. I think I have at least one or two I've got to post. So, they're going to keep coming in. Hope you guys enjoy them, and hopefully we'll get to a point where I can put some more real effort into the presentation. Right now, I'm just trying to give you guys as much information as possible. I love talking about this stuff. I think that I've been getting better at being poetic about it lately. I think that honey sandwich was a pretty good, if I do say so myself. But yeah, I'm just rambling now. So you know what? Go listen to them. Give them a listen. If you're still on edge after watching this video, and you've seen other probably more scathing and more objective, and you still are like, I could try it. Just try it. Damn it. It's not bad. It's also really comfortable. So, you might find that you could use EQ if you wanted to. You could do some pad swapping with it. If you already have a bunch of pads, I think that makes it an even better value, because the technicalities, if you can tame that driver in that housing, you might get something pretty good out of it. And if you do, you've got Zeos to thank, and me to thank for encouraging you. So, give me $10. Have a nice day, everybody.